Today's function has 3 or 4 parts. First, we celebrate World Dance Day, that is tomorrow, by dancing and practicing our most beloved classical art forms. Then, we launch the latest issue of Attendance, guest edited by ace journalist Srimati Rani Kumarji, who has come all the way from Hyderabad. Then there's a heart-to-heart interactive seminar discussing dance matters. And dance continues with all forms coming together in the end with Mishran. In 2022, Attendance is 22 years old and is India's only yearbook on dance, a rare record and compilation, topical and unusual, but more on that later. May I now invite Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's director, Shri H.N. Suresh sir, to give the welcome address.
Ellarigu namaskara. Welcome to this rare occasion where the written world and the practicing of dance art comes together. Many top gurus and artists of the city have made it possible under the overall leadership of Professor Ashish Kokarji. Give a big hand to him. We are very happy to host this function, and our Vice Chairman, Sri Chiranjeevi Singh sir, is here. So I welcome him on behalf of all of us. He is here to bless us all on the eve of the World Dance Day. The Bhavan's Bangalore Kendra. We are very happy and proud and to have all of you here this evening and welcome you all of you again. Namaskar. Wish you a happy World Day.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite our pride of Karnataka, the form Yakshagana, to be performed by our youngest dancer of the evening, 17-year-old Varshini Heppar.
Mother शक्ति हरे सोदरी भयारे मधु कैटभ नाशिनी मधु कैटभ नाशिनी साधु योगी जनमोदिनी ओंकारे साधु योगी जनमोदिनी ओंकारे ओंकारी वेद मूल श्रुति शोधित वेद मूल श्रुति शोधित गुणवत तद जात निभति चित चंड मुंड शिर कंदिनी साधोति बलि अभिन कवि गुद चंड मुंड शिर कंदिनी शिर कंदिनी शिर कंदिनी शिर कंदिनी शर्वाणी अष्टादश भुजे अष्टादश भुजे दंडपाणि चामुंडी शुंभमतिनी 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 पालया जननी पालया जननी महिषासुरमर्दिनी पालया जननी दिन्नागर्धरी
That was Yakshagana by Varshini Heppar. We now invoke the gods through a Mangala Charan by Srimati Madhulita Mahapatra and students. After an invocation to Lord Jagannath, based on lines from the very popular Jagannath Ashtakam by three young girls, Angelina, Shreyasi and Sanvi, Srimati Madhulita Mahapatra will present Shunya Swarupa, choreographed by Guru Srimati Aruna Mohanty, music composition by Guru Vijay Kumar Jaina, and rhythm composition by Guru Dhaneshwar Swai, based on the popular shloka from the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Apani Pado Javano Grahita. This dance piece talks about formlessness and the omnipresence of God.
आराध्य भवतो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतो मे जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतो मे
You have neither hands nor feet, but you move in every movement. In every song. In every stream. You have neither hands nor feet, but you move in every movement, in every song, in every stream.
Apani-pado, apani-pado. Apani-pado, apani-pado. Apani-pado, apani-pado. Gama gama pada ni da pada sa ni da pa ma ga sa re ga re gama gama pa ma pada ni da sa.
You walk in the void, in words. You move in silence, and you move in nada, sound. You walk in the void, in words. You move in silence, and sound.
Ta, ki, te, ta, ka, ta, ki, te, 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 ta, ki, te, ta, ki, te, ta, ki, te, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ki, te, ta, ki, te, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ki, te, 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 ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ki, te, 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 ta, ki, te,
ଶୁଣ ସବୁରି ନିରବାର୍ତ୍ତା ତୁମେ ଶୁଣ ସବୁରି ନିରବାର୍ତ୍ତା ଗଜର କରୁଣ ରଖ ରଖ ଡାକ ଗଜର କରୁଣ ରଖ ରଖ ଡାକ ତୁମେ ଶୁଣ ସବୁରି ନିରବାର୍ତ୍ତା ତୁମେ ଶୁଣ ସବୁରି ନିରବାର୍ତ୍ତା ତୁମେ ଶୁଣ ସବୁରି ନିରବାର୍ତ୍ତା ଦ୍ରୌପଦୀର ଭୟାତୁର ସମୟର ଶୋକ 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 पश्यत्य चक्षु सशृणोत्य कर्ण 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 पश्यत्य चक्षु सशृणोत्य कर्ण
Are you the fathomless depth of the deep sea? Are you the azure of the boundless sky? Are you the first rays of the ascending sun? Are you the lilting melody of the morning birds? Are you there in the innocent smile of an infant? When you flow as tears from the corner of the eyes, are you the unbound ecstasy ecstasy of a mother's love. Are you the essence of the unuttered prayer? Hey Prabhu, where can I see you? Where can I find you? How can I ever understand you?
सवेति विश्वं न च तस्यास्ति वेता 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 तमाहुरग्र्यं पुरुषं पुराणं तमाहुरग्र्यं पुरुषं पुराणम् 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 पुरुषं पुराणम् पुरुषं पुराणम् पुरुषं पुराणम्
We now have Kuchipudi by N. Gururaj, student of Guru Srimati Vaijanti Kashi. He will be presenting a Tarangam.
In Raga Mohana and set to Aditala. This is a special number in the Kuchipudi repertoire. The song accompanying this number is from the well-known text Krishna Leela Tarangini, a text that recounts the life and the charming looks of Lord Krishna. A special element of skill is involved here. The dancer dances on the rim of a brass plate. It is a superb, symbolic representation of life, circumscribed like the plate limiting all human capabilities. Yet, mastery of some knowledge and the art of control is the secret of success. Dancing on the rim indicates the human possibilities to reach beyond limits. Presenting to you Neela Megha Sharira. This item has been choreographed by Guru Srimati Vaijanti Kashi.
Neelamegha Krishna
Neelamegha Gopal
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಮಾಧವ
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಶರೀರ
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಶರೀರ
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಶರೀರ ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಶರೀರ ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಶರೀರ ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಶರೀರ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದಂ ದೇಹಿ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದಂ ದೇಹಿ
ಬಾಲ ಓ ಬಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪಾಹಿ ಪಾಹಿ ನೀಲಮೇಘ ತಗ 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 ತಗ
ನೀಲಮೇಘ
ತಗ 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 ತಗ
ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದಂ ದೇಹಿ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದಂ ದೇಹಿ
ಬಾಲ ಓ ಬಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪಾಹಿ ಪಾಹಿ ಕಲಭ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಳಬ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಲಭ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಳಬ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಲಭ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಳಬ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಲಭ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ಕಳಬ ಸುಂದರ ಗಮನ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಶೋಭಿತಾನನ
ನಳಿನದಳಯ ತನಯನ ನಂದ ನಂದನ ನಳಿನದಳಯ ತನಯನ ನಂದ ನಂದನ
ನಳಿನದಳಯ ತನಯನ ನಂದ ನಂದನ
ಮಿಳಿತ ಗೋಪವಧೂಜನ ಮೀನಾಂಕ ಕೋಟಿ ಮೋಹನ 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 ದಳಿತ ಸಂಸಾರ ವಂದನ ದಾರುಣ ವೈರಿನಾಶನ ದಳಿತ ಸಂಸಾರ ವಂದನ ದಾರುಣ ವೈರಿನಾಶನ ದಳಿತ ಸಂಸಾರ ವಂದನ ದಾರುಣ ವೈರಿನಾಶನ ಬಾಲ ಓ ಬಾಲ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪಾಹಿ ಪಾಹಿ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ದಿರ್ಗಡದಂ 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 ತಕಿಟ್ಟ ದಿಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತಕಿಟ್ಟ ದಿಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಟ ತಕ ದಿರ್ಗಡದಗ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ
ತಂ ತಂ ತಂ
ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ದಿ ದೇ ನ ತ ತದಿಗಿಣತು 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 ದಿ ದೇ ನ ತ ತದಿಗಿಣತು 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 ದಿ ದೇ ನ ತ ತದಿಗಿಣತು ತದಿಗಿಣತು ತದಿಗಿಣತು
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ
ತಂ ತಂ ತಂ
ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
dim 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 dinakadga dim 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 dinakadga dim 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 dinakadga dim 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 dinakadga dim dinakadga dim ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿಮ್ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿತ್ತ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿತ್ತೈ ದಿದ್ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿತ್
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ತಜ್ಜಣು ತಜ್ಜಣು ತಕ್ಕ ಜಣು ತಜ್ಜಣು 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 ತಕ್ಕ ಜಣು ತಜ್ಜಣು 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 ತಕ್ಕ ಜಣು ತಜ್ಜಣು ತದಿಂಗಿಣ ತತ ತದಿಂಗಿಣ ತತ ತದಿಂಗಿಣ ತತ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿದ್ ದಿದ್ದಿ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ದಿದ್ ದಿದ್ದಿ ದಿನಕೃತಕ ತಕ ದಿಮ್ಮಿ ತಕ ಜಣು ತಕ ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ಜಂ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ದಿತ್ತ ಜಂ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಜಂ ತದಿಗಿಣತ 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 ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ಜಂ ತಕ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ದಿತ್ತ ಜಂ ತಕ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಜಂ ತಕ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಕ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಕ ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತದ್ದಿತ್ತ ಜಂ ತಕ ದಿಕ್ಕು ತದಿಗಿಣತ ದಿತ್ತ ಜಂ ತಕ ದಿಕ್ಕು ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಜಂ ತಕ ದಿಕ್ಕು ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಕ ದಿಕ್ಕು ತದಿಗಿಣತ ತಕ ದಿಕ್ಕು ತದಿಗಿಣತ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಪಾದಾರವಿಂದ ವಿಶ್ವವಂದಿತ ಮುಕುಂದ
ಸತ್ಯ ಕಂಡ ಬೋರಾನಂದ ಸದ್ಗುಣ ವೃಂದ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಸತ್ಯ ಕಂಡ ಬೋರಾನಂದ ಸದ್ಗುಣ ವೃಂದ ಗೋವಿಂದ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತ ಬಿತ ಬೇಡ ಕಂಡ ಪಾಲಿದಾನತ ಸುನಂದ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಸ್ತಾಮಿತ ಭೇದ ಕಂಡ ಪಾಲಿತ ನಂದ ಸುನಂದ
ನಿತ್ಯದ ನಾರಾಯಣ ತೀರ್ಥ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾನಂದ ಗೋವಿಂದ
ನಿತ್ಯದ ನಾರಾಯಣ ತೀರ್ಥ ನಿರ್ಮಲ ನಂದ ಗೋವಿಂದ
ನಿತ್ಯದ ನಾರಾಯಣ ತೀರ್ಥ
We now have Malavika Nair, a young Bharatanatyam artist from Bangalore who has been training under Guru Srimati Vani Ganapati for the past 18 years. She has performed extensively on prestigious stages in India and the UK. Malavika Nair will be presenting a composition of Sant Purandaradasa, the Pitamaha of Carnatic music. In this piece, she will be depicting a few episodes from the Shiva Puranam, namely the Gaja Samharam, the story of Nilakanta, the burning to ashes of Manmata, and the story of Markandeya. Chandra Chuda Shivashankara Parvati, set to Ragamalika and Aditalam. The choreography is by Guru Srimati Vani Ganapati.
चंद्रे चूडे
ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಸುಂದರ ಮೃಗಧರ ಪಿನಾಕಧನುಕರ ಗಂಗಾಶಿರ ಗಜ ಚರ್ಮಾಂಬರಧರ ಸುಂದರ ಮೃಗಧರ ಪಿನಾಕಧನುಕರ ಗಂಗಾಶಿರ ಗಜ ಚರ್ಮಾಂಬರಧರ ಗಜ ಚರ್ಮಾಂಬರಧರ ಪಿನಾಕಧನುಕರ ಗಂಗಾಶಿರ ಗಜ ಚರ್ಮಾಂಬರ ಗಜ ಚರ್ಮಾಂಬರ ಗಜ ಚರ್ಮಾಂಬರಧರ ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ನಂದಿವಾಹನ ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಮೂಜಗದಿ ಮೇರೇವ ನೀನೇ ನಂದಿವಾಹನ ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಮೂಜಗದಿ ಮೇರೇವ ನೀನೇ ಅಂದು ಅಮೃತ ಘಟದಿಂದ ಉದಿಸಿದ ವಿಷ ತಂದು ಭುಜಿಸಿದವ ನೀನೇ ಅಂದು ಅಮೃತ ಘಟದಿಂದ ಉದಿಸಿದ ವಿಷ ತಂದು ಭುಜಿಸಿದವ ನೀನೇ ಅಂದು ಅಮೃತ ಘಟದಿಂದ ಉದಿಸಿದ ವಿಷ ತಂದು ಭುಜಿಸಿದವ ನೀನೇ ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ. ಕಂದರ್ಪನ ಕ್ರೋಧದಿಂದ ಕಣ್ತೆರೆದು ಕೊಂದ ಉಗ್ರನು ನೀನೇ. ಕಂದರ್ಪನ ಕ್ರೋಧದಿಂದ ಕಣ್ತೆರೆದು ಕೊಂದ ಉಗ್ರನು ನೀನೇ. ಬಾಲಮೃಕಂಡನ ಕಾಲನು ಎಳೆವಾಗ ಪಾಲಿಸಿದವನು ನೀನೇ. ಬಾಲಮೃಕಂಡನ ಕಾಲನು ಎಳೆವಾಗ ಪಾಲಿಸಿದವನು ನೀನೇ. ಪಾಲಿಸಿದವನು ನೀನೇ. ಕಾಲಕೂಟವನು ಪಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ ನೀಲಕಂಠನು ನೀನೇ. ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ವಾಲಯದಿ ಕಪಾಲ ಪಿಡಿದು ಭಿಕ್ಷೆ ಬೇಡೋ ದಿಗಂಬರ ನೀನೇ ವಾಲಯದಿ ಕಪಾಲ ಪಿಡಿದು ಭಿಕ್ಷೆ ಬೇಡೋ ದಿಗಂಬರ ನೀನೇ ಜಾಲ ಮಾಡಿದ ಗೋಪಾಲನೆಂದೋಹಿಣಿಗೆ ಮರುಳಾದವನೇ ಜಾಲ ಮಾಡಿದ ಗೋಪಾಲನೆಂದೋಹಿಣಿಗೆ ಮರುಳಾದವನೇ ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ಧರೆಗೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತೀರ ಕುಂಭಪುರವಾಸನು ನೀನೇ ಧರೆಗೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಕಾವೇರಿ ತೀರ ಕುಂಭಪುರವಾಸನು ನೀನೇ ಕರದಲ್ಲಿ ವೀಣೆಯ ಗಾನವ ಮಾಡುವ ಉರಗಭೂಷಣನು ನೀನೇ ಕರದಲ್ಲಿ ವೀಣೆಯ ಗಾನವ ಮಾಡುವ ಉರಗಭೂಷಣನು ನೀನೇ ಕೊರಳುಳು ಭಸ್ಮರುದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿಯ ಧರಿಸಿದ ಪರಮ ವೈಷ್ಣವನು ನೀನೇ ಕೊರಳುಳು ಭಸ್ಮರುದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿಯ ಧರಿಸಿದ ಪರಮ ವೈಷ್ಣವನು ನೀನೇ ಗರುಡಗಮನ ಶ್ರೀ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಪ್ರಿಯನು ನೀನೇ ಗರುಡಗಮನ ಶ್ರೀ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಪ್ರಿಯನು ನೀನೇ ಚಂದ್ರಚೂಡ ಶಿವಶಂಕರ ಪಾರ್ವತಿ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ ರಮಣನೆ ನಿನಗೆ ನಮೋ ನಮೋ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय
thank you all for coming today and being in attendance. We welcome you to this grand occasion. Grand indeed that a dance publication anywhere in the world survives 2 decades. This is the 22nd year and the 22nd issue of India's only yearbook on dance, Attendance. A yearbook is not a magazine, it's not a journal, and not a book. A yearbook is all three and more. To sustain it for 22 years is itself a great feat, especially with not a single rupee from government or corporate India, only direct sales, a gentle hint to buy a copy please, or two, for your institution or library or students who need to learn from reliable books and not just dubious internet sources. For Ashish ji, art is not work, it is his way of life. And we see that in everything he does. For many of us in the dance field, he is the gold standard, the big brother of the dance scene, our own Anna. If you call him sir, he says that it is colonial culture. Be Indian. He teaches by example and helps many artists quietly. Some don't even know who recommended them for a show in Nimrana or New York. Most don't know that he told someone on a CCRT or SNA committee who is worthy of a scholarship and deserving of an award. He expects nothing in return. He is humble to gurus and helpful to youngsters. We are lucky to have such a guide and guru, a serious mentor here in Bangalore. I myself met my guru through a small act of consideration by Ashish ji, and that small act changed the trajectory of my life forever. And I'm sure I'm just one of many, many artists who he has helped and guided. Since getting government awards are an art form in itself, Anna has not got any. But he, with his best half, Elizabeth ji, gives awards to others. 10 years ago, they decided to honor those forgotten by the system and youngsters who needed timely support. In the last 10 years, the attendance awards are most coveted because no one knows who decides. So these are the most genuine awards in the dance field. The jury is secret and any canvassing is automatically disqualified through phone calls or various other modes. 30 Bangaloreans and 10 outsiders have received these attendance awards until now. You can find the complete list on the attendance portal, www.attendance-india.com. Attendance also created the most unique dance discourse at Alliance Francaise under the guidance of the patron saint of arts, Shri Chiranjeev Singh ji. His 3 terms presidentship made Alliance Francaise the talk of town and the most happening cultural venue in pre-COVID times. As Ashish ji said, when two Sardars meet, as his grandfather was also a Sikh, they can only create magic. The attendance dance discourses, 50 events over 7 years, has platformed over 1,000 dancers, many rare films and other seminal events. Alliance's loss is now the Bhavan's gain because Shri Chiranjeev Singh ji is now the current chairman. Ashish ji went to school also in Delhi at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Speaking of Alliance Francaise, we cannot forget the work of its most cultured culture coordinator, Miss Anuradha Narayan ji, who is in this Kincha Hall today. And speaking of the Kincha Hall, we are also privileged to have Dr. Kincha with us, a worthy son of a worthy father. Additionally, we welcome the former DGP of Andhra, Shri Girish Kumar ji, who for us this evening is more of a guest, our ace editor Rani Kumar ji's husband, than a top cop. We welcome Aparna ji, the spiritual healer, the 2 authors to the issue, Dr. Chudamani Nandagopal and Dr. Sharada Srinivasan. Many attendance awardees are here, senior stars, gurus. So many attendance awardees over the years, like Guru Padmini Ravi, Praveen Kumar sir, Guru Raj, who performed Kuchipuri today, Tushar Bhaiya, Pooja Bhatt, and we also have, I think, G. Ulagnathan sir here with us today, and many, many more worthies in the hall who will soon be seen on this stage. Attendance awards are not shining shawls that can be worn again. and flowers that wilt in 5 minutes, but practical help by getting awardee shows in other places in India, or by sending them on internships to Italy or Sweden, giving them shows in various locales, Nimrana, Baroda or Bhuvaneshwar. Ashish Anna helps the dance field selflessly. Many careers have befitted and many names become national thanks to his initiative. He doesn't take credit, and he is not even on Facebook because he does real books. Today is his 46th published book, and as Ashish Anna says, he is the youngest participant on stage today. He's only 15 years old because his birthday comes once in 4 years. Enough said, and we now bring dance through the pages of Attendance, for which we invite its architect and creator, Professor Ashish Mohan Khokar, our Anna, to address you and take the evening forward.
Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Vardekamarupani Vidyarambam Krishyami Siddhi Bhavatu Me Sada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayo Namo Namaha. OMG is Om Ganeshaya. All these new words which have crept in are actually creating a whole new horizon and potential for us, writers, critics, authors, historians, to think where the written word is going. The written word has gone beyond planet Earth. I suppose it's in whole Brahmand. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. Actually, that's the motto of this building as you enter. And this is what we were taught when we went to school, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in Delhi. I went there from 1965, truly last century, to 1974, and then to St. Stephen's and Hindu colleges. It was the importance of a value system, Indian culture, which both my parents, Mohanji and Saroja Amma, said that must be inculcated. So I think we are just continuing what our parents, elders, well-wishers, gurus, all the art lovers, today this must be the most blessed hall, not only in Bangalore, but in all of India, because there's so many talents here, so many gurus, so many people who serve societies as doctors. We know how in the last 2 years we have truly benefited by their guidance. So a big hand to all of us present here after a hiatus of 2 years. Sometimes one wonders if it is easy to write a book or to market it. I don't know which is sometimes more difficult, especially having done so many. And alas, India is a big country with so many languages, so many cultures. That we are still one itself is a unique achievement. You know, we take it for granted, this Indianness. What is Indianness? What is India today? But it is unique because if you see rest of Europe, if you see rest of the world, if you see what's happening, we always feel amazed that how we have survived centuries with a continuous culture. These specimens of our art forms, which were built and born in temples thousands of years ago, still continue. That is the beauty of our art forms, the continuous civilization. I'm so happy we are privileged today by the presence of my elder brother, the patron saint. As I always say, Singh is king, truly so. Chiranjeev ji is not an ordinary person. We are blessed. He's in Bangalore, he's in Karnataka. He has really served the cultural field and the state selflessly for so many decades. Please clap. Such saints are born rarely, and we are very privileged that somebody like that blesses all our efforts. We are happy today that he will be, as always, guiding us, launching this Attendance 22nd issue. In fact, he has contributed the opening article which sets the tone, because mysticism is a very difficult subject. You see, religion, divinity, Godhead, spirituality, these are words which we use very loosely, even in Indian culture, because they're not Indian. Sanskar के हिसाब से अगर हम संस्कृत में भी इन शब्दों का प्रयोग करें तो हमें इसमें बड़ी विडंबना होती है कि अगर वी आर यूजिंग दीज वर्ड्स, व्हाट डू दे एक्चुअली मीन. सो आई मस्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट Srimati Rani Kumar ji, our guest editor, who's come all the way from Hyderabad today to be with us, that she has put this very difficult topic together in one book form. It has never been attempted before, and I'm sure for the next many, many years it will not be possible to do this again. So big hand also for our guest editor, Rani Kumar ji from Hyderabad. Generally, behind every successful man, there is a silent woman. But in this case, there's a very silent top cop of Andhra, DGP no less, Girish ji, who has come all the way with Rani ji to be here for this function. He's very observant, very quiet. He's also been in Bangalore for some years on his posting. We're very happy they came all the way from Hyderabad. I'm so happy Dr. Kincha is here with us. I'm so happy Dr. Arun Kumar, Dr. Vinay Sudha Rudrappa ji, and the promotional film which we had shared with you in our social media platforms was done by their son, our upcoming sound engineer, brilliant musician, Yashwant Vinay. I said, don't you add Rudrappa? That is a brand recall. He says, no, no, uncle, my name is good enough. So that is Young India, which is prominently confident, it is proud, it is sure of its work, and we are very happy to support it. So if anyone needs a nice music track, Yashwant is right with us here in the hall. You can bond with him in the end of the event. We have very special guests here, our intellectual of Bangalore, a world figure. BBC has made a film on him. He was discovered painters in America, which Americans had forgotten. Akumul Ramchandra ji, big hand for Akumul ji. We have Venugopal ji of ICCR, who's also with us this evening. We have many gurus. We have Mrs. Mehta ji, we have Radha Sridhar ji, we have Mysore Nagaraj ji, Prashant Shastri, who's all come all the way again from a shoot. Many, many happening stars and gurus and teachers and students of the art form. May I now humbly request Shri Chiranjeev Singh ji to kindly come on stage, launch this issue, give the first copy to Star Guru Vani Ganapati, who's also with us this evening. And may I invite Rani Kumar ji, the guest editor, and the three special recipients of the first copies, Girish Kumar ji, Dr. Kincha, kindly come on stage, please. Thank you. And the Lord said, let the written word be here. May we have the books, please? May we request Aparna ji also and Akumul ji also to kindly come on stage, please, to receive a copy and be with us on this occasion. These are people who are themselves written many books. They understand the written word, they understand the medium of art, and we are very happy they are here with us on this occasion. Aparna ji, the spiritual healer, to receive the first copy, and Akumul Ramchandra ji.
ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಮತ್ತು ವಿಶ್ವ ನೃತ್ಯ ದಿವಸದ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. To have such a galaxy of gurus and dancers and artists in this hall itself is heartwarming. The issue of attendance which just has been released, as Ashishji mentioned, the theme is mysticism and dance, a very difficult theme. In India, actually, dance has always been part of the spiritual tradition. The transition from temple to the stage has been a long one. But if you look around the world, in every civilization, dance has been part of spiritual and devotional rituals. Whether it is ancient Egypt, where you see in the hieroglyphics and in the paintings dancers paying obeisance to goddesses. Merit is the goddess of dance in Egyptian mythology. Or even if you see the old cave paintings, you see dance as a form of ritual. And in China, the Chinese dance tradition is as old as the Indian one. Their dance texts are probably even older than Bharat's Natya Shastra, but certainly not later than Natya Shastra. Same is the case with Japan, where dance is part of the Shinto shrine, and it is danced even now in Japan. And of course, in India, we all know that the connection between dance and spirituality has been a very close one. So this issue is very special. And to have brought this issue out, all credit to Ashish ji. You see, it is difficult to bring out a book, write it and publish it and distribute it. And Ashish ji has been doing all these three things. He's been writing, he has been publishing, he has been distributing. It's a tremendous job. And to have done it over decades, I mean, I have no words to thank him for all his services to dance. The attendance awards, I have been seeing them because sometimes I have also been part of the jury, and the way the young artists have been promoted by him is something no one else has done, at least in Bangalore or elsewhere also, picking up young talent and nurturing that talent and giving them encouragement. It's something which no one else has done. Again, Ashish ji, salutations to you. It was very refreshing to see the new choreography of gurus, because you see, tradition is like a tree, and new shoots come, and the new shoots they bring their own beauty. There is a very famous verse by DVG in Mankuttiman Kagga, where he says, old roots and new shoots. In this, today you have seen the work of gurus who are present and whose choreography you have seen. So this is what is old roots and new shoots. And I am especially happy to see solo performances because of late, whatever performances I've seen have been group dances. So it is good to see that the gurus are paying attention to Ekarya also. And that is something really praiseworthy. Dance day, during my stay in Paris when I was posted there, on the World Dance Day, the whole city becomes a dance arena. Every square, street, you have dance performances. But now, with Corona raging still in Europe and this war in Ukraine, one really doesn't know how they would be celebrating, but at least here we have celebrated the evening before the World Dance Day in the most befitting manner. And after 2 years of Corona, to have such a program is something really praiseworthy. It's amazing that Ashishji has been able to bring so many gurus and dancers together to celebrate the eve of the World Dance Day. And the World Dance Day is tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be many programs. So the idea was that we set the tone for the celebrations after a gap of 2 years or so when Corona struck. So this has been a great day, and I'm delighted to be present here. The book, of course, it's a difficult subject, and it has been very beautifully brought out, like all attendance volumes. Actually, if you see from the beginning, I don't know if any library has all the volumes together. This is not only the history of dance in India over the last 150 years or so, when the modern dance rejuvenation took place, so to say, towards the end of the 19th century. And then in the 50s, 40s and 50s, the rediscovery of many dance forms like Odissi and Kuchipudi, which were rediscovered, so to say. The changing formats, the changing forms, the gurus who were there, that's all part of this documentation which Ashishji has done. So perhaps all these volumes can be now uploaded, and that would be a great material for any research scholar on dance. No research scholar on dance anywhere in the world can do without referring to these volumes. And when I was in UNESCO representing India there, I used to see what all was happening in the field of dance all over the world. But nowhere has such a documentation of dance been done as has been done by Ashish. And another thing, you see, his father, Mohan Khokharji, had built up the dance archives. In India, we have no sense of preservation of heritage, but he did that. And it's to Ashishji's credit that he has not only taken care of it, but he has added to it. So more power to you, and one looks forward to further volumes of attendance. All this would not have been possible without the help and cooperation of Elizabethji, Mrs. Khokar. She's here. I mean, he would not have been able to do this over the years if Elizabethji had not been his main sport. You see. So, a big hand to Elizabethji, and greetings to all of you. As I said, there is a galaxy of gurus and dancers here today. My best wishes to all the young talent, and we hope they would bring credit not only to themselves but to their gurus and to the country. Thank you.
आशीष नु आशीष मिल गया. May I now request the guest editor of the issue, Rani ji, who's come all the way from Hyderabad. She was the Hindu critic. She was with the Indian Express 20 years, a hardcore journo, she describes herself. We go after facts, not fiction. We write what we see, not we are told. We are what sets the tone for the day and for the moment and for the year and for history. The one and only Rani Kumarji in her note as the guest editor. And how difficult it was, not doing the yearbook, but dealing with me.
Namaskaram. Good evening to all the esteemed guests on the dais and the elite audiences. At the very outset, I would like to express my deep felt thanks to Elizabeth Coker and Sri Ashish Kokarji for trusting me and my editorial skills and my integrity and handing over the guest editorship of this very prestigious dance yearbook. And I would also like to thank all the writers who readily agreed to put the pen to the paper and gave us some of their most insightful articles. And the end product is always diligent teamwork, and as an individual I cannot take complete credit of bringing it out single-handedly. And now coming to the theme itself, I knew from the very beginning was a tough terrain to traverse. Still, it was a challenge which I thought I should take up and explore. It was not an easy task to find writers for something as difficult as dance and mysticism, because at the very outset, the surface of it, dance and mysticism are on opposite poles. One is abstract and the other is concrete. To bring them both was not a cakewalk, nor did we get writers, so we had to really pick and choose. And in doing so, it was because most writers I found who knew something on mysticism were not familiar with dance. And those who were knowledgeable with dance were diffident to tackle the subject of mysticism. So this left us with very few writers. And some of them who actually volunteered to write, they let us down by their own personal problems and during COVID times. So the production got a bit delayed also. And beyond this, I would like to, and whatever I had put forward, I had a pattern. I had a pattern for the theme, which had to flow and take the reader along from the substance to the abstract, to the esoteric. So it started like with the iconic cosmic dancer, then it went through the dance as a yoga, a sadhana, and then later on, as they internalize dance, it becomes a mantra, a tantra and yantra. And slowly the flight starts towards mysticism. Apart from that, we also dealt with other traditions like Sufism, Jaina traditions. So finally, the book is with you. I really thank all of you all for having made it to the launch. And I wish you take the book and read it and please give us your feedback. Thank you.
Some people call me Shatabdi Express because I keep to time almost, and it is 7:29:27. So we are into the next session of this seminar. I thank you so much for gracing this stage and us with your blessings at the launch. May I now request only Vani ji and Rani ji to stay on stage for the next session of the seminar. Thank you so much, Dr. Kincha, Akumul ji. Thank you so much for being here. We are starting with this seminar in the next session. Thank you. May I now request the seminarists, if we could call them that. It's a distinguished panel. We have Padmini Ravi, the one and only, who has done not only yeoman service. Anyone I talked to when I came to Bangalore 20 years ago, whom have you learned Bharatanatyam from? There was only one, sorry to say, auntie in Malleshwaram. I said, but she looks like 20, how can she be auntie? They said, no, sir, I am 25, she doesn't look her age. So I said, yes, that is her beauty, that she is one of the finest Bharatanatyam artists, festival organizer, filmmaker, educationist, and a patron. Please, Padmini ji, join us on stage for the next part of the seminar. May we also have Kathak's best festival representative. We have Nandini Mehta ji of Nadam. Kindly come on stage, Nandini Mehta ji. They are known for the best. Nadam does the best festivals on dance in the city, and we have benefited and seen many artists. Nandini and Murli are a team. We are happy to have Nandini ji here. Please join us on stage. We have panelists who are also bring to us other aspects of what is dance today. How do you teach young India? We have Praveen ji, whose art has gone global. Guru Praveen Kumar ji, kindly join us, please. His green color kurta shows he is always ready and evergreen. So he is here to join us, and one of the finest teachers, gurus of the city, and the most quiet helper and supporter of all attendance efforts. Thank you. At this time, I must thank the team which has put this together. I get all the credit, but there are a lot of people and dancers and youngsters who have helped. Topping that list is Imran Bhai, who handles the book counter and is always very, very helpful when it comes to all logistics. We have Lakshmi Narayan Jaina, who helps us selflessly, Tushar Bhatt and Pooja, and of course we are grateful to Anjali Urs, who today introduced the evening and will continue to conduct the evening. So we are very grateful to this team, which has also come and put the event together for attendance for all of us here. Do we have Lakshmi Gopal Swami in the hall with us? Please come, join us on stage. She said she will be silent. I said we also need silent watchers and dance activists and stars and film people. For them, this is not the era of silent films, but it's surely a song to silence, because there's the second book of Rani ji here, Song to Silence, which has had no time to be launched since attendance took over. So may I request Lakshmi Gopal Swami, as she walks to stage, to kindly release this book and give the first copy to the author, Rani ji. Song to Silence. So, we were to have Guru Lalita Srinivasanji as the chair of this session of seminar. It's not a boring seminar. We are going to be interactive. The idea is, where does dance stand today in society? So first of all, how many of you paid 500 rupees or $500 to enter this hall? So first question is economics of art forms. Why a painting can sell for millions, trillions, even after the artist is dead and gone 400 years or 200 years. In fact, the painting goes up in value when the artist is no more, often, as we see in the history of art. But dance is so fragile, and dance is so momentary, and dance is so transient. How do we put a value to it, and how do we pay for it as a society? We'll also discuss dance matters that concern us in dance, and does dance matter to society? May we have the opening address and comments by one and only Vani ji, who will give us the opening address. Since Lalita ji is not with us to chair the session, Vani ji will be chairing the session with Chiranjeev Singh ji. So opening comments, Vani ji, please. Would you use the mic there? Is comfortable for you? Fine. I'll be the Sutradhar standing here. These are the Saptarishis. Please give a big hand to them. It's easier for interaction. I will be here. Good. Please, please, in service of dance. Please, please, please. No, no, no.
Friends, I'm not much of a speaker, so when he said, I'm going to chair it, no, 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 no. I'm sitting on a chair, that's how much I'm going to chair it. Om Sai Ram, everyone.
Om Sai Ram.
Today being Thursday, of course for me, every day is Baba's Day, and it's even more beautiful that this event is happening on Baba's Day. I start with a quote of Albert Einstein. Learning is experience. Everything else is just information. Another quote that I read recently: develop a passion for learning, and if you do, you will never cease to grow. Both are so very true. And today, for me, learning applies to everything, including dance. So I come to the topic of today: dance matters. Dance helps our bodies release serotonin, the happy hormone, which in turn relieves stress. And that's something every one of us need today, anything that can relieve our stress. Dance matters because it builds skills that are very necessary for learning: communication, collaboration, discipline, memory, and definitely an alert and creative mind. Dance matters because it helps in improving the overall health and development of children. It builds their core strength. Dance matters because it helps in cognitive development. The mentally challenged, the Down syndrome, autism, spastics, dyslexia, all of them have benefited from dance. Dance matters because you explore all your other passions, interests, and creativity. Dance matters because it also boosts your academic performance. Dance matters because it corrects your body posture in the long run and makes you very graceful. Martha Graham, the famous ballet dancer, once said, "The body says what words cannot." Dance matters because it helps to build the overall personality of a person. Dance matters because it boosts your self-confidence. Dance matters because it creates spirituality and divinity within you. Dance is like honey. Honey is honey only when you taste it. Otherwise, it is a mere word. When you taste honey, you experience its sweetness. So also with dance. When you taste dance, your experience is sheer joy and happiness. Dance matters, and definitely for me. Thank you.
I was thinking, if I was always very weak at maths at school, and I'm blessed Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan teachers are no more to beat me up. Those days they were allowed to in the 1960s and 70s. So I was counting, I said there should be Ashtanayikas, where is the 8th one? And we have Rukmini Vijay Kumar, who because of our masked age we are not able to even recognize sometimes faces. May I request Rukmini Vijay Kumar, one of the most happening young artists of India, whose art has gone global, to kindly join us on stage. And we have contribution from each decade and generation. Is there? Choreographed? No, please. Rukmini Vijay Kumar, please. So I will now take the discourse to Padmini Raviji, because she has been a dynamic teacher. Actually, Padmini hated me because I gave her a bad review in Delhi in 1927, was it? 1877, something like that. And she didn't talk, and when I shifted to Bangalore, she says, you are that fellow who wrote this or something. But this is her beauty and our friendship of 20, 30 years, that she said, I actually took that review written in Delhi Times of India when I was the critic in Delhi, that she took it and discussed it with many others in Madras, in Bangalore, and they said, what part of this review do you don't agree with? She said it was a time for catalysm and a moment where I discovered where I wanted to head my art. But she has trained every third person or fifth person or 10th person in Bharatanatyam. She doesn't look it, but that's her beauty of mind, spirit, and training and teaching. Her festivals were well attended, one of the biggest events of Bangalore when she mounted them, and now as an educator, filmmaker, and a patron, the one and only. Padmiji, my question to you is, you have done it all. Where do you think the paradigm shift has happened in the last 30 years? You know, from the age of Margam to age of item girls, or just items. Do children today, I mean youngsters, 20-year-old, 30-year-old, have stamina to do 1 hour performance? And where is the lacuna? Is it in teaching, or is it in discipline of society, parents' instant need for stardom? Where is dance headed? Because you've seen such a quick turnaround, as has Vaniji, as has Minal Prabhu was here. All of you here are who teaching in the hall too. How has this paradigm shifted so quickly? And today with instant media, social, unsocial mostly, where do you lead this to? Because everything is instant, not just coffee, but you know, it's appreciation. So please, your point of view on where we are headed.
Thank you, Ashishji. And I was never angry with you. I was always thankful to you because you gave me the review and it was my turning point. Thank you. I've been dancing for 52 years and teaching for 42 years. When I did my Arangetram, I was all of 11 years old, and my teacher Sarasa chose a Usaini Swarajati, which was 1 hour 10 minutes in my Arangetram. But if we do 1 hour, I mean today nobody even watches half the Varnam, they all just disappear. To answer Ashish ji's question, where is it headed? I truly don't know. Because I think it's not about the students, it's about the parents. It's what they choose or what they think is important for their children. Because everything is a transaction. You pay 100 rupees, you're supposed to give 100 rupees worth. But what we teach as dancers can never be quantified. I can never value what we give. But the parents, it's the greatest responsibility of the parents today to guide their children, not to be in the forefront, but learn dance as a process, which is very, very important. And so the responsibility today, fortunately or unfortunately, 50% leaves with the dancers, with the teachers, and 50% with the parents. The parents are supposed to say, shut up and learn, shut up and bear the pain, do not complain, and not come and say, please, you know, can you, my daughter is bored, so can you teach an item? It doesn't work like that. So that is the responsibility that the parents have, and I request sincerely to let the teachers do their job, because as teachers, we know best. If that is done, I think dance is safe.
Thank you for those words of, see, we need filtered knowledge. These seminars are not about boring espousal of some art form and divinity and all that we know in our field. It's what's the current status today, what's happening, where as a society is, especially the performing arts, you know, the musician can still sing and record and sell music. But a dancer is on stage for the moment. Even a film doesn't do justice. It is that, you know, instant nature of the art itself. It is so transient, so fragile. So Nandini ji, when you bring a form, please.
I just add one more. If you are in Malleshwaram, do not go to the nearest teacher whom you don't know about, or, you know, learn from a person who can't. I'm not judging anybody, but pick the best. I think that you need to put in a little bit of research and pick the best and make the effort to go to the best.
So Nandini ji lives in Malleshwaram, Coconut Avenue to be precise. No coconuts there, but sometimes they can fall on your head. And she, especially on our heads of people learning Kathak, because when you go in circles, then the tree also shakes and sometimes the fruit falls. So having taught Kathak in a city which Maya Rao ji initiated from Ram Gopal's time, Sohan Lal ji, the whole lineage which Chiranjeev Singh ji knows so well the history of Kathak. In fact, it was his idea to Maya Didi to add the word Kathak to choreography while the teaching institute started. He was not a cultural secretary without culture. He was the most cultured secretary of Karnataka, in addition to finance secretary, in addition to the most honest finance secretary, most honest additional chief secretary, and so much more. So I ask this question: when you teach Kathak in a city which is essentially Bharatanatyam, like Madras is, there's no Kathakali, there's no Kathak, one person, lone ranger, and you have so many students, you do one of the best festivals, Nadam, if you, most of us have attended, and a big hand for Nadam Festival. It's one of the best attended festivals done by Murliji and Nandiji. So when you teach Kathak now, for you, what is, as she said, parents can be very, very democratic, demanding. So if you are teaching now today, how do you discipline both the student and the parent and make them professionals?
Thank you, Ashish ji. At the outset, I would like to wish you all a happy World Dance Day. I've been very fortunate to have learnt Kathak from none other than Dr. Maya Rao and Chitra Didi. I think if Maya Didi hadn't opened the institute in Bangalore, I would never have learnt Kathak. So it is Maya Didi who's the pioneer of spreading this art form in south of India, especially in Bangalore and Karnataka. Ashish, as you were asking me, like about the students and the parents, it is heartening that many children and even adults want to learn this art form, Kathak, which is basically from North India. And the parents, as Padmini Aunty was saying, are very, very demanding. So as soon as they come with the awards to admit their child for the classes, their first question is, when will they go on the stage? Otherwise, they'll say, when are they going to take up the exams? So I tell them, first learn the art form, and then we'll look into the other aspects. So some time ago, during this pandemic, we had online classes, and the exam also was postponed, and the Gandharva exams. And one of the parents came to me and asked me, she said, why is my daughter taking up the first level? I want her to take the second level because her classmates in school are doing that level. Then I told her, I think I can judge better, like what level she's up to. So she was kind of upset, and it doesn't matter, but I had to tell her that her daughter had not reached that level as yet. And there are many parents like this, but there are other parents who understand and leave it to the teachers to take a call. And regarding our festival, this is the 23rd edition of a festival which will happen in the year 2022. We have faced a lot of challenges since the inception of the festival. Initially, it was, Murli and me started the festival to share the platform with our fellow dancers. And from a 2-day festival, it became 3 days and then went on. There are years we conducted 7-day festival and 8-day festival. But now, when I come to think of it, I wonder how we did it. Because, as Ashishji said, it's a festival, to conduct a big festival, the first thing is economics. And then you need the right infrastructure. And we want the festival to be good, so we have to select the best of artists. So we receive a whole lot of applications. I think we have more than over 3,000 applications. But choosing the right artist, and we have to maintain the quality of the festival. So with this in mind, I would like to say that we will continue to strive and keep the festival on par. It's considered to be one of the leading festivals in Bangalore. So we will strive to keep up.
Speaking of internet, virtual world, thank you. I'm just continuing what Nandini just shared with us. Internet, virtual world, which we've all suffered. It's an overdose of it because it's removed from reality. To meet humanoids in person also is very important to see an art form. And Rukmini is traveled all over globally. She's the most popular presence on YouTube, on internet, on every festival. And they ask me in Paris or in Stockholm or in Greece or wherever, how does she manage to have such a straight spine? I said, ask her. Because it's yogic Bharatanatyam. When she comes on stage, it is like a transformation. And you can see the beauty and the structure of the form, Bharatanatyam or any. The minute an artist steps on stage, it is in the walk, it is in the gait, it is in the mannerisms. Rukmini, as one of the most happening youngsters worldwide for a form which has gone global, how do you see living in Bangalore and reaching out to the world? What are the plus and minuses?
I didn't quite understand.
You are positioning, your dance is positioned globally, but you are based in Bangalore. So the connect between a very, very specific culture reaching out to the world at large, which all others have taken this road. In today's internet age, with the presence of in-the-face YouTube, Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter has just been bought by Lemon or Melon. So what happens there?
You might not believe, but I don't really know much about the digital world.
How nice.
So I think for me, it's more about my time in the studio. So if you ask anyone, they just know I live there most of my life. And I think I've been living in the studio from when I was 15. I think Nandini knows. Padmini Auntie knows. So anyone who knows me from when I was young knows I pretty much lived there in the studio. And I don't think anything has changed for me with respect to that. In fact, the pandemic has allowed me to be there even longer without any traveling and other distractions. But a few years ago, one of my students actually told me, Akka, you have to get Instagram. And I was not very aware of what that was. So she set it up for me, and for a few months, when I was practicing, when I went somewhere, she would take some videos and post it. And I was very skeptical of it at first. to be honest, and I thought this is very fake, it's very weird. And more recently, I would say in the last 2-3 years, I've realized the benefits of that. Because yes, it might also in some ways trivialize our art form and make it small, make it meaningless, because it comes out in 30 seconds when all of us really work to dance for 2 hours on stage. But at the same time, what I've realized is that by making those smaller snippets, like even if it's I'm practicing my Varnam, I just put the Jati up or something like that, it has become more accessible. And in my audiences now, I find people who possibly would have never gone to a Bharatanatyam performance. So if it's bringing people to my audience who would have never considered this art form before, I'm realizing the benefits of this digital medium. And YouTube, to be honest, I never made anything on YouTube for the longest time. The first time I ever put anything on YouTube was because I thought a bunch of people stole my music. And I wanted everyone to know, you know, I worked really hard to get this composed. And so I said, before people start using the music themselves, and I didn't really understand it. This was more than 12 years ago. And wherever I went, we used to use the CDs, and they would take the CDs, and I'd seen people copying it onto the computer. And I know most of our dancers have experienced that. So I said, I think I'll just put my videos on this YouTube, because then people will know that it's my music and that I got it made. And I'd left the channel until the pandemic, and then I realized I had a lot of money in it. And I was like, how do I get this money out? It says $1,000. So, and then again, I asked some of my students, and I figured out. And there was money collecting for over 12 years, I think, on some video I'd posted. And during the pandemic, when people wanted virtual performances, I didn't feel comfortable videotaping a normal performance. So I thought, and I've been working a little bit in films, I thought I want to make it a little more visually appealing. So I'll do the performance, but I'll do it like as I would dance, like normal Tilana or Pushpanjali or whatever, but I'll do it in the farm, because that's the only place I could go during the pandemic, and I videotaped it. And once it was done, I was like, I might as well put it on YouTube. So I think that something that started as something that I didn't really know gave me benefits, or like I started realizing that so many people are interested in Bharatanatyam, but really they don't really know, because there's so many people who might want to come and watch, but because they're not part of that circle, they don't walk into a Bharatanatyam performance. So I feel like the digital medium can give us serious practitioners a leg up if we use it to kind of say, hey, you know, this is what we're actually doing, because so many people don't understand.
That's true. We have a family here, our neighbors, the Pandas, and they say, dude, what era you live in? You should be on internet, YouTube, and do one pravachan every day for 10 minutes. So at least you will have 5,000 followers. I said, then what? No, then you will be a commodity. I said, that's what I'm avoiding. So that's also the problem for a writer or a critic or for a historian, how much of in public domain you put everything out. As a critic, Rani ji, as a critic, as a writer, as an observer, how do you view all this? And you don't have to be very polite, neither am I, but when you see all this happening, especially the last 2 years of virtual dancing, where there are no performances, where there's nothing happening in stage, and the space in media has also reduced, because everyone can now write their own reviews on Facebook and get nice, you know, thumbs up or thumbs down. So who's actually going to assess an art form? Is this silver? Is this copper? Is this gold? You know, so how do you put it in Paris or New York or Delhi or Bangalore, the qualitative aspect?
Actually, when you view something online, at least as a critic, it's very difficult to assess anything in particular, because it's just a virtual stage and you are really not too close to the artist to observe every movement and every footwork. So it's an overall observation. And okay, it was a bad time and they had no other recourse. So obviously they had to take to the stage this way. I was never for it. I was never for it because the rest of the world was also in respite. It was not as if everybody who was working in different fields were wanting to do something. It was just not possible. But artists being what they are, I think certain amount of performances, I stopped reviewing because I didn't find anything rational in reviewing all these.
So books are better, they stay on the shelf for long. Thank you.
Definitely.
Infanciardo le perianto le memento le piccianti, in cortero la petame ricilenti. Pravinji lives half in Italy, so I was trying my Italian on him. And he has a base which is now more students and very popular name, and this is his lifetime dream, and it was thanks to, I think, stupid people of Bangalore called attendants who gave him the first award of the best male soloist Ram Gopal award and sent him to Italy. So he said, I've always wanted to Mohan Kokar award, the first year, the first awardee. And Pravinji was, by chance, the Italians were saying, can you send us a good dancer from India? I said, okay, we'll see. But they wanted some nice, young, male artist because it was a theatre group. And I think he's returned to it ever since, maybe 5 times, 7 times. And he has many, many fan following there. So now your place in Girinagar, Baswangudi and Bergamo. And so between these two worlds, you are doing Malleshwaram and Milano. So what will you now position your art when you go to Australia, when you go to America? And how do you manage that? Are you one person or there are more people in you that you are able to do all this? And male gurus, please understand, in the society even still today, it is male performers, male gurus. We have Prashant Shastri ji here. Please stand up. He's a well-known film star also of TV and others. He's with us. We had Minal Prabhu. We have Guru Radha Sridhar ji here. I can't see in the dark very well, but so many other names. So when you teach as a male teacher, guru, a form that sits or is neutral, gender neutral, and you take it worldwide, what is the biggest challenge today for you to teach young Indians?
My respects to everybody on the dais and my colleagues here. For me, I don't like to say it like a challenge because I always felt art is a representation of each individual's perception. Because we all portray the way with our imaginations are. I might show the Rama the way I look into, Lakshmi might show it another way, Rukmini might show it another way. So we all have our own image and perception to portray the thing. I've always followed that when I am dancing. I do the same with the teaching, whether it is in Bangalore, whom I teach, or whether I teach somebody in Bergamo. For me, it is the personality of the dancer which one should bring out. In fact, one of my students is here today. When I teach them also, I teach them a structure, and then I leave them, say, explore it the way you like to explore it, the language. Because I might take 2 steps to portray a particular anger, whereas the other person who's learning from me might say, I would rather just stand and express it. So I think one should give that freedom of exploring their own body, I think, which is very important, because dance is, everybody says dance is very personal, which is very, very true. Dance is very personal, but we all have a guideline, but I think the rest should be our own portrayal of how we would like to present it. Like you said, somebody said it's very democratic, right? I think one should have that democracy to portray a particular body or expression what you feel like.
Thank you. Lakshmi ji, would you like to say anything, or silence is golden?
Good evening to all the illustrious gurus here. Kalarasikas. Yes, when Ashish ji said, would you like to speak? I told him that I am just taking a little bit of chill pill at the moment. Have danced for many years, and Corona came as a blessing for me actually, because I didn't have to justify not doing anything for some time. With the pressures of acting and dancing, constantly on the move, I think it got to me without me realizing that. I was on this treadmill. So I was very happy sitting at home, pottering around, reading a little bit, doing stuff. And but now, as I heard everybody talk, I'd just like to say that when you said, what is the importance of dance? I said, what kind of a, when he told me this, I was thinking, what kind of a question is this? What do you say? Because we've all been dancing far too long, and it's taken to it so naturally that I can't cut myself off from dance, because everything I look at eventually is through the eyes of a dancer. The way you respond to words, the way you respond to music, the way you respond to colors, your values, the way you dress perhaps. So I can only say that when I understood what dance did to me, when I went, the first time I went on a film set, after a few days I realized my upbringing, I'm talking about upbringing as a dancer, the process of going to a guru, the process of just unconditionally learning things without expecting whether you would become a dancer or not, whether you had a career or not. I think all this has added so much beauty into my life, and you don't need any other, from what I have realized, any other extra kick, because we've seen so much beauty that a lot of things would look mundane to me. And I think that has kept my sanity in dealing with the vagaries of even film life, because on one day you can be very famous and very popular, and another day you can be just ignored and shelved. Maybe not exactly ignored, but yeah, you know you're not hot property. But it doesn't matter. I think that sense of centeredness and balance definitely comes from the values, the beauty, the beautiful world of dance that we have had, if I may use the word, the privilege of being in. It's even including, I would tell Praveen and all my colleagues that I was never interested in filmy gossip ever, but was so happy to come back to Bangalore and say, who fought with whom? Or who made a mistake on the stage, anything juicy like this. It was only these little things. So my world has actually always been this little beautiful dance world. And now, of course, it's grown with the net and social media. It's gone beyond. Everybody's looked at as a personality. But let me tell you, if for me, this is the magical world through which I look at everything around me.
Thank you so much. We are just 3 minutes late, so I'll ask Chiranjeev Singh ji to give very briefly concluding remarks, because only he can sum it up and put it with his wisdom, with brevity. So we request kindly to, having seen so many points of view.
With great gurus sitting here, for me to say anything would be presumptuous. But I would just say, you see, recently in The Economist, which is one of the most impressive and important journals in the world, The Economist came out very recently. I was reading that the growth in the performing arts during the COVID in Britain was 40% more than the growth in the economy. Oh, wow. Now, this is something interesting because it tells you about the role which the arts perform in the society. And especially when you see that this has happened during the COVID years, tells us something about the importance of arts, one. Secondly, Lakshmi ji said, I have my world of dance, but this world of dance is limitless because, you see, from the village artist to the classical artist, it's a continuum. There is no break as such. you have elements of folk culture even in classical this thing, and ultimately forms like Kuchipudi and Odissi, Yakshagana, they were folk forms. Chau is even today a folk form. And what we call Margam also started as a folk form. So this continuum, I think one should always have in mind that the role and the future of arts, especially performing arts, and in performing arts, dance, because dance is an ephemeral art. The dancer and the dance are one. In fact, there is a very beautiful poem by W.B. Yeats about dancer and dance, which I am sure every guru would have read that poem. It's a great poem by a great poet. So that is one part. Secondly, all the gurus have mentioned something about the parents. Now, do the parents send children to learn dance in order to imbibe something of culture, or is it a status symbol, or is it that the children who learn dance, they have the innate urge to learn it? So this is something which I think one has to see. Now, when Vishnu Digambar ji opened the Gandharva Mahavidyalaya in Lahore, which was the first music school in the country. Before that, there was no school of music as such. It was always Guru Shishya thing. People laughed. They said, "Kya Guruji, aap Tansen paida karenge?" He said, "Tansen nahi to Kansen to aayenge." So all these children who are pushed into dance by the parents, will they be the equivalents of Kansens? I don't know. I mean, when one is talking about where the dance forms stand today, what is the future, what's happening, and especially in times of Corona, etc., these are all relevant questions. So on this note, that in England, the performing arts grew at 40% more than the economy. In India, one has to see. And maybe we shall also reach that stage.
I think if only Chiranjeev Singh ji was the Culture Minister of India, that would have happened. Otherwise, it's not possible, sorry to say, with normal course of appointments. It needs a cultured person to be in charge of culture as a state subject. Thank you, really, that is important.
It's great that so many gurus have come together.
Yes.
And those who are learning from them are indeed blessed.
Thank you so much, Mangalam Bhava. Thank you. We are so happy all of you could be here. We continue with 3 more performances. The Mohinis from Kerala, Mohiniyattam. Then we have Kathak. And then we have concluding item with all the forms coming together. Very quickly, just in 20 minutes. Please be with us. Thank you so much for being here. Pleasure to have all of you in the hall and on stage. Thank you. You didn't get a copy. You can get your own also, but here is one.
After that wonderful session, we now move, as Sir said, to God's own country. We have the Nair sisters, Srimati Veena and Srimati Dhanya, who have been learning and performing the classical arts for over 3 decades. They have trained in multiple disciplines under legendary gurus, the SNA awardee Natya Visharade, the late Guru Srimati Narmada, Padma Bhushan Dr. Padma Subramaniam for Bharatnatyam. They have trained under Guru Padma Shri Srimati Kalamandalam Shemavati for Mohiniyattam, under the SNA awardee Sangeet Kala Acharya Vidushi Srimati Neela Ramagopal for Carnatic music, and Guru Srimati Manju Bhargavi for Kuchipudi. They present Ardhanarishwaram, a composition of Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar in Ragam Kumudakriya, set to Rupakatalam. Next, we have the Kathak duo, Srimati Pooja Bhatt and Shri Tushar Bhatt, a dynamic Kathak dance couple from Bengaluru, known for their innovative approach to this traditional art form. Shri Tushar Bhatt is a disciple of Guru Shri Dharamshi Bhai Shah, and Srimati Pooja Bhatt is a disciple of Guru Shri Abhimanyu Lal and Guru Srimati Vidha Lal. Tonight, they present Ganesh Vandana, an invocation to Lord Shri Ganesh, the god of all beginnings, knowledge, higher arts, and pure intelligence. Vocals by Shoaib Hassan, tabla by Aman Ali Khan, pakhawaj by Salman Warsi, sarangi by Amir Khan, sitar by Suhail Saeed Khan, and choreography and performance by Srimati Pooja Bhatt and Shri Tushar Bhatt, presenting Ganesh Vandana.
प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश सुत प्रिय महेश सुत प्रिय महेश सकल वेदन कलेश सकल वेदन कलेश दूर से निवारे प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश शोभित गले पुष्पमाल रक्त वस्त्र धारे प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश सकल वेदन कलेश दूर से निवारे प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय स्वरूपियाय लंबोदराय गणनाथ जगद्हिताय नागन्नाथ श्रुति यज्ञ विभूषिताय गौरी सुताय गणनाथ नमो नमोस्तुते प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश प्रथम सुमेरु श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश श्री गणेश
We now have Bharatnatyam by Srimati Aishwarya Nityananda, disciple of Guru Srimati Radha Sridhar. She will present a tilana composed by Maharajapuram Santanam in Rag Revati, set to Aditala. It is a brisk, lively piece and a beautiful rendition wherein a perfect amalgamation of physical movements and facial expressions are in complete harmony with the speed and style of the music. The choreography is by Guru Srimati Radha Sridhar, presenting Aishwarya Nityananda.
तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी धीम 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 तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी धीम 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 तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु धी जोणु धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी जोणु तधीम धीम धीम तनन धीरन तन धीरन धीरन तधिमि तझणु तकिट धी jum ta jum ta jum ta kirdum ta de ta de ta kirdum ta jum ta kirdum ta takadiku kirdum ta jum ta kirdum targidum ta jum ta kirdum takita tam tam ta jum ta kirdum takita tam tam takita dikita tom kita nam kita takita dikita tam tam takita dikita tom kita nam kita takita dikita tam targidum takita dikita tom kita nam kita takita dikita tam targidum dim dim ta takita taka dim dim ta takita tanana dhirana tadhimi tajanu takita dhim jonu tadhim taka jonu tadhim taka jonu dhim tajonu dhim jonu dhim tadhim dhim jonu tadhim taka jonu tadhim taka jonu dhim tajonu dhim jonu dhim tadhim dhim mari sari ma takadajam sani pani sa takadajam mari sari ma takadajam mari re pa ma mani papa sani ni mari sari ma takadajam sani pani sa takadajam mari sari ma takadajam mari re pa ma mani papa sani ni dim tanana dhirana tadhimi tajonu takita dhim jonu dhim tadhim dhim tanana dhirana tadhimi tajonu takita dhim अन्नै पराशक्ति अण्डचराचरतिल आनन्द நடனம் ஆடுகின்றாள் अन्नै पराशक्ति अण्डचराचरतिल आनन्द நடனம் ஆடுகின்றாள் உன்னையன்றி மற்றோர் தெய்வம் உலகில் வேறே யாரம்மா கண் பாரம்மா உன்னையன்றி மற்றோர் தெய்வம் உலகில் வேறே யாரம்மா கண் பாரம்மா மாதவன் சோதரி தாமதம் ஏனோ தயை புதியாதரி தயாபரி மாதவன் சோதரி தாமதம் ஏனோ தயை புதியாதரி தயாபரி மாதங்கி மனோன்மணி மகிஷாசுரமர்த்தினி மூகாம்பிகே மகாராஜன் அனுதினமும் உனை பாட வரமருள் ரேவதி ராகத்திலே அன்னை பராசக்தி அண்ட சராச்சரத்தில் ஆனந்த நடனம் ஆடுகின்றாள். உன்னையன்றி மற்றோர் தெய்வமுலகில் வேறே யாரம்மா கண் பாரம்மா. மாதவன் சோதரி தாமதம் ஏனோ தயை புரி ஆதரி தயாபரி. மாதங்கி மனோன்மணி மகிஷாசுரமர்த்தினி மூகாம்பிகே மகாராஜன் அனுதினமும் உனை பாட பரமருள் ரேவதி ராகத்திலே தாம் தகிடஜம் தக ஜோனுத தீம் தக ஜோனுத தீம் தக ஜோனுத தீம் ததிமித ஜோனுதக தகிட தீம் ஜோனுத தீம் தீம் ஜோனுத தீம் 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 தாம் தகிடஜம் தக ஜோனுத தீம் தக ஜோனுத தீம் தக ஜோனுத தீம் ததிமித ஜோனுதக தகிட தீம் ஜோனுத தீம் தீம் ஜோனுத தீம் 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 தக ஜோனுதக ஜோனுத ஜம் தக ஜோனுத ஜம் தக தஜம் தஜம் நாதிர் திர் தீம் நாதிர் திர் தோம் திர் திர் தீம் நாதிர் திர் தோம் திர் 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 தீரன தக ஜணு தஜம் தக ஜணு தஜம் தக தஜம் தஜம் நாதிர் திர் தீம் நாதிர் திர் தோம் திர் திர் தீம் நாதிர் திர் தோம் திர் 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 தீரன தீம் 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 தனன தீரன தன தீரன தீரன ததிமித ஜொணு தகிட தீம் ஜொணு தீம் ஜொணு தீம் ஜொணு ததீம் தீம் தீம் தனன தீரன தன தீரன தீரன ததிமித ஜொணு தகிட தீம் ஜொணு தீம் ஜொணு தீம் ஜொணு ததீம் ஜொணு ததீம் ஜொணு ததீம் பராசக்தி பராசக்தி தாயே அம்மா
All forms are a divine gift. All the myriad disciplines now come together for a harmonious conclusion. We bring them all together in Mishran by all. Presenting Mishran by all the artists for this evening.
Thank you.
this grand evening, this launch of Attendance 2022 comes to an end. I request Anna to please come on stage along with our artists and all the illustrious stalwarts who are here today for a group photo.
First of all, a big hand for her, and thanks how well she conducted it. Anjali Ars, she's also teaching at Reva University now. She is wife to Janardhan, one of the finest contemporary dancers of Maya Raoji's school. And whenever we want, and Madhulita Mohopatra's disciple, whenever we request, she makes time and conducts so beautifully, so meaningfully. This is what will stay in memory. All artists, or those who consider themselves to be artists, temperamentally, mentally, kindly come on stage. Vaniji, Raniji, everyone who's here, because this will remain memory forever. Kindly come quickly so we don't waste any more time. The night has been young and long, and we thank all of you for being here. Do stay with us for just 3 minutes more for a grand claps for all of them who made this evening, artists who work for society, all of us here. Please come quickly, thank you. And do get a copy, autograph is free, from the guest editor. Thank you. Please come quickly to the stage. So we are all here. A big hand to the Vande Mataram team. They have done beautifully with only one rehearsal coming together today and mostly virtually. Big hand to Tushar and Pooja Bhatt for having taken them across. Vani Ganpatiji, of course, for guiding on in virtually, and all the artists, starting with Aishwarya Nityanand, the pride of Bharatanatyam of Bangalore, the Nair sisters for Mohiniyattam and Bharatanatyam, Madhurita Mohapatra for Odissi, Malvika for Bharatanatyam, Pooja and Tushar ji for Kathak, and Guru Raj for Kuchipudi. And all of the worthies who are here, Vani ji again, Mysore Nagaraj ji, Nandini ji, Lakshmi ji, Prashant, Praveen ji, Rukmini, please come on stage.
How are
please.
you?
I've seen a chubby girl now. I have 15.